All right, chat. Hypers, if you know who Idubbbz is, that's going to be everybody in chat. Everybody here knows who Idubbbz is. We all know. We all know. Now, Idubbbz is actually one of, I would argue, the founding fathers of modern day edgelord humor. And I think that a lot of people have taken the edgelord humor of like Max Mofo, Filthy Frank, and Idubbbz, and they've sort of gotten the wrong idea from it. At least when it comes to Filthy Frank. I think Quentin Reviews did a really good video where he talked about the satirical, edgy humor of Filthy Frank and how it's been like misunderstood by an entire generation who genuinely believe like that kind of shit's like the kind of stuff that Filthy Frank did or joked about or believed were things that were funny and cool and you should believe, even though Filthy Frank's entire character was satire, right? Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are, the members of that sort of founding fathers of edgelord humor online have sort of moved on to different things, right? So Max Mofo opens up Pokemon cards now. Joji has left the moniker of Filthy Frank behind, ended his entire series on that, and now does music, while Idubbbz has sort of evolved his content lately. And if you watch Idubbbz's most recent content, at least for me, it became clear that maybe his views, or at the very least his execution of some things, has changed, or his views on how he should execute certain things. Like if we look at his most recent videos, most of his stuff in the past like year, especially the last 7 months, is actually like pretty base. So obviously he did a video making fun of anti-maskers, you know, pretty nice. Okay, cool. And this might be my favorite Idubbbz video. It's very different from the stuff he usually does. It's a documentary. It's called Ice Cream Man. And this video I think does a lot to humanize like people who are on the spectrum. Basically, he visits years after this guy's like popularity. He visits this guy who got really popular because he was working at like, I think like an ice cream. I forget what he went popular for. I highly recommend this video. It became very clear that like he's very different now than the edgelord dude who used to just say the R slur because it was funny back in the day. Okay, so I got the opinion that maybe Idubbbz had become a lot more based as of recent. But then Lonnie messaged me on Twitter this video from his Stream Clips channel. And obviously when, you know, a content creator does streams, they have the opportunity to talk in much more length about what they believe and how they've grown and sort of adapted to things. And I just want to show this to you guys and talk about what we see. It's made me pretty happy. Let's watch.
Hope asked, have you ever regretted a video? Have you ever had a scrap of video that you wish you could have executed? And I kind of answered this. This might be answered in a future highlight. I think I told Ryan to like put it in a highlight. No, I don't really regret any videos necessarily. I think I regret like delivery of certain things. Like I think in the past I maybe had this attitude of like I'm not responsible for what my fans do, but it's like that's kind of it's a little weak. It's a little weak. I think I should have just predicted that some people will take my messaging to the extreme, and yeah. The content of the video, no, I don't regret any of that. Maybe I do regret Slenderman Gangnam Style.
So, very important. I feel like one of the like biggest arguments I have against really big edgelord content creators is that they generally don't take any responsibility for their audience, right? A lot of them just want to make edgy jokes or like say the N-word or whatever, even if they believe they're pushing a positive message or what they're saying or doing isn't going to have a negative impact. A lot of them don't believe that what they say and do actually does have a impact on their audience and is going to form and shape how their audience behaves. And I think the next clip, I believe it's the next clip, I think it really sort of illustrates probably one of the big events that made him realize, content creators, no matter what their intentions are, have a massive effect on the behavior and the worldview of their audience, even if that's not the intention.
Executed. There's plenty of scrapped videos, and some of them I think I might just eventually put out, which I'm super happy about because it's like as time passes, I feel less and less weird about them. But there's a lot of videos that I've scrapped. projects and whatever else. Okay, I figured it out. I mean, how can you forget that? So we were at this convention. This guy from, we were like in the...
So this story, I think this story perfectly summarizes the effect that like the really edgy content creators can have on their audience if the fact that it's satire and it's not supposed to be taken seriously or emulated isn't very well communicated to the audience. I think this story is very evident of that.
The lobby type area, it was pretty packed. And when I say pretty packed, I mean it was fucking packed. And this guy shouts the N-word at me from across the room. And I'm just like, no, like looking the other way, like, nope, this isn't what's happening right now. But he came up to me and he said some shit like big fan or something like that.
Wait, I didn't just realize me and Idubbbz are matching right now. We're both wearing pink t-shirts. This might even be the same t-shirt. Holy shit. I think maybe the collar is maybe a bit more protruding outwards from the shirt on his, but like, yeah, we're matching right now. I just need some glasses and a red headset with like a silvery kind of metal mic, a chrome mic. Yeah, damn. Yeah, we're matching, except his collar's also a bit tighter. This one sort of droops down a bit more.
And it was just like, holy fuck, you're not right. Yeah, really bad. And then, yes, of course it was the hard R. Yes, absolutely. And and then, I mean, to top it off, like, I think the only content he had to, like, exchange with me is, like, it was, like, me and Anissa right there, and he was like, there was a Wonder Woman cosplayer right next to us, literally standing right next to us, and he was like, have you seen Wonder Woman's ass? And, like, points at this female's ass right next to us. It's the most fucking uncomfortable shit. And you can imagine every response coming out of my mouth is just like, no. Thanks. Thanks, bye. Yeah, just like really fucking awkward. That is definitely the worst experience I've had. So don't think don't think that's commonplace. That has been the worst, but
yeah, so I think that right there illustrates probably one of the events that made Idubbbz realize that I like being edgy. Edgy humor is good. Even edgy humor that, and maybe some of you might disagree, even edgy humor that maybe punches down a bit can be good, but only in a context in which it's completely satire, and the argument against the edgy humor, or the argument that you're making with that edgy humor, is that, of course, actual bigotry is bad. The problem is, like, for example, in one of Idubbbz's older videos, I remember this very vividly, he argued that in some contexts, it's saying the N-word is fine because you help to destigmatize it, and perhaps the word will lose its power. The problem is, well, he might have thought, okay, so I'm arguing a perspective that'll make it so that perhaps, like, people who are really genuinely racist will have less power because they can't just say a word that is meant to upset or put, like, black people down, right? The problem is, most of the people watching that, or at least a significant amount of the people that are watching that, are going to see that and just think, oh, Idubbbz thinks it's good to say the N-word. That's going to be what they believe when they see that video. They aren't going to understand the message he's trying to put forward. Agree or disagree with the message or not, it doesn't matter. The point that he was trying to put forward is being misunderstood by his audience, and I think this event probably helped him realize that. I am responsible for my audience. A lot of people that are watching are probably misunderstanding the entire point of the things that I'm saying. That's the video that you linked. Wait, he deleted that video? Wait, really? Hold on, I'm really curious. I'm gonna mute my desktop audio really quick because I know he says the N-word. I don't want him to. You guys can probably hear it through my mic. That's fine. Did he actually take that video down? I'm really curious. Did he take the video where he defends the N-word down? If so, that is... It's a clip from the content cop. He took that content cop down? People in the chat are saying yes. Lonnie is saying no. Oh, okay. If he took it down, then that probably shows even more. That's the clip from the Tanamongu content cop. Okay, so I would be surprised if he took the Tanamongu content cop down. I think the Tana one's still up. Yeah. Just like go check and tell me if it's still up.
I'll ask one more juicy question. Hi, Ian. Do you think you got a ton of toxic/racist followers after the Tana Mongoose content cop? And if yes, do you regret it? I mean, I'm not going to use the word toxic and racist, but I will say there were like some very brain dead people who took what they wanted from that video rather than the point of the video, which was laid out pretty fucking clearly. A lot of people, I think, generally thought like, oh, you hate the same type of bitches I hate. You hate these bitches? No, it's like, that's the whole problem with labels, right? Is they, like, these people wanted to, like, what is the word? They wanted to, I don't know, be on the same team. And it does feel good, you know, when people agree with you and, you know, you're rooting for the same thing. But yeah, I think they were disappointed that I wasn't the person they wanted me to be, or they imagined that I was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think the perfect or the perfect example of this happening, in my opinion, is the drama that happened last year, the Idubbbz is a simp drama. So for those of you guys that aren't aware, because maybe you weren't following this back when it happened, Idubbbz's girlfriend, Anissa Joma, who is a YouTuber and streamer and content creator on her own, ended up making an OnlyFans. And from my understanding, I don't know how it is today, but I think back when the drama happened, it's not like she was doing like porn videos on there or uploading nudes on there. It was mostly just like lewd cosplay type stuff on that OnlyFans. I think when I first started talking to Ethan, actually, we had an argument about that. And there were like tons of people who for one, that were arguing stuff like Idubbbz is a cuck because his girlfriend has an OnlyFans, or that he's a simp. Now, put aside the fact that none of the people saying that know what a simp is. I don't believe that you're a simp if you are dating and fucking the girl who you're interested in. Don't think that's how it works. Also, the idea that I guess if other dudes jack off to your girlfriend, that makes you a cuck. Personally, I would argue the other dudes jacking off to pictures of your girlfriend are the cucks because you're the one fucking her, and they're the ones that want to fuck her but can't. That sounds a bit more cucky to me, personally. Do we agree? Also, it's not even what cucking is, but even if we go by a more like modern internetized definition of cuck, I feel like the dudes jacking off to the girl that you're fucking, that want to fuck her, are probably the ones. Yeah, also, they're the ones paying to see pictures of her lewd, not even nude, from my understanding. Like, that sounds way more cucky to me, personally. Oh, God, what the fuck was that? Jesus. Like, that sounds more cucky to me, personally. And on top of that, like, if we follow this logic, let's say your girlfriend posts, like, hot pictures on Instagram. Like, if a dude jacks off to that, what's the difference between that and his girlfriend having an OnlyFans? Like, let's just say, hold on, does she have, like, an Instagram? I don't know if I'm logged into Instagram on this, so I'll have to open it on Google here. Hold on, does she have, like, an Instagram? I'm curious. So, let's say she never made a OnlyFans, right? Let's say, like, I don't know, this picture, right? If some dude jacks off to this fucking picture, I don't even know if this is actually her or not. Like, this could be a fake account, but, like, this is from Instagram, right? So if some dude jacks off to this picture and it's just on fucking Instagram, would this make Idubbbz a simp? Would this make him a cuck because she posted this picture on Instagram and some dude jacked off to it? What's the fucking difference, right? I don't know. It's mostly the intent of the post. The intent of the post doesn't matter. Def not her, only 20 likes. Yeah, it's probably not her. I don't know. I'm not going to go out of my way to find the actual Instagram, but that's just like an example. I don't know. The logic of that just doesn't follow with me. And I think that how many people in his audience felt betrayed that he let his girlfriend make an OnlyFans, I feel like that was like probably a wake-up moment for Idubbbz to realize, wow, there's a lot of dumb fucks in my audience that think I believe things that I don't believe because they're misinterpreting my like arguments and what I say.
When do you think the stigma around your controversial videos will end and you can make more? Well, I don't think it's going to end. What I'm noticing is that, like, I don't know, like, as long as we continue to progress how we're progressing, like, we're just becoming more socially aware and careful about what we say things or whose feelings we're hurting and shit like that. And I think the people who are who are like trying to ignore it or pretend that it's not happening or pretend that like it doesn't have to be that way, it's like you're seeing it in every like developed nation. There isn't like any like society that we're seeing that is just so different that's like, oh yeah, like it's complete anarchy in Australia. They say whatever the fuck they want and they, you know, do this and that. It's like, no, like people are doing what they're doing.
I want you guys to notice that if he could have easily just bitched about woke cancel culture there and how he's like a victim of it. Instead, he talked about how it's just something that's happening all around the world. People get more progressive. There's always going to be a stigma around like edgy content. I think that's like a very respectable and responsible way to talk about that. Like the general like stigma against like more edgy content. Because it is a thing. There is like a stigma against edgy content. If Idubbbz did the content now that he did back then, he would probably get a lot more shit from it. Like the TikTok Zoomers would probably be making TikToks about how he's a terrible person and everything. Just like Tana did on Musical.ly or Vine or whatever the fuck was the thing back when he did that content cop. It would go rampant. But instead of bitching and whining like he's a victim of cancel culture, he did an actual like responsible like adult assessment of how things have gotten more like progressive over time. And that's just something that's happening. And there's always going to be a stigma around it. He didn't whine about it. He just accepted that was a thing. And sometimes you have to adapt your content to things that are more like socially acceptable in certain climates. And I think that's a really responsible way to go about it. Feet. Nice. Yeah, so I just wanted to go over that clip because Lonnie sent it to me and I thought it was pretty neat. Idubbbz is a massive content creator, millions of subs, and is one of the founding fathers, I would argue, of like edgelord humor on the internet. And I feel like this is just perfect. A perfect example of how maybe the edgelord like figures that a lot of people follow are being misunderstood by their audience, and the messaging that they're putting forward, whether it be on their side, maybe they're not presenting what they believe well enough. Like with the Idubbbz N-word clip, right? A lot of people just interpret that as, oh, this cool YouTuber I follow thinks it's just cool to say the N-word. And that's why at that fucking expo or that convention, he was just like, haha, hey, Idubbbz, yells the N-word, right? Because he thinks that's what Idubbbz thinks is cool and that's what he wants. When in reality, Idubbbz was like, okay. When in reality, what he was advocating for, whether or not you agree with that argument, is that like if you try to take away the stigma from that term, if you try to put less power behind it, then maybe it'll have a positive effect on the world. Yeah, I don't know. Did you not hear the leaked audio of him talking about his GF being a thought and shit? I listened to that audio, and it was very clearly him joking around. That's very clearly his type of humor. Like, when I literally argued with somebody, it might have been you, Ethan, I don't know, where someone, like, sent me this master document on how, in reality, Idubbbz isn't cool with his girlfriend making an OnlyFans, and that's why he's a cuck or something. And, like, apparently one of the stories was her talking about one time Idubbbz got in the shower with her and peed on her leg. Like, it's not something I would do, but I can imagine couples doing that kind of shit, okay? Like, if me and Lonnie were that cool, and she wouldn't just fucking, like, grab a soap bottle and fucking spray it in my eyes if I did something like that, then maybe I would pee on Lonnie's leg because it would be funny while we're in the shower, okay? But some relationships are at that point, and I would say if there's any relationship I can think of where it would be acceptable among them as a joke to say these kind of things and to pee on your partner's leg, it would probably be their relationship. Just from what I've seen of it, that seems like something that they would do. That stupid private couple shit is their own business. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Probably clip chimped. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that people are going to use to try to attack Idubbbz, like the whole simp thing, are going to be clip chimped bullshit, but you know how it is, right? I don't know. I really liked this video, especially the end of it, what I wanted to show you here, and I think it just sort of highlights that, like, even the founding fathers of, like, the edgelord humor online have realized that their arguments have been co-opted. Holy shit, I drank way too much coffee. Excuse me. That even, like, the founding fathers of the edgelord humor stuff have realized that bad actors have used their content and their arguments as an excuse to engage in bad actions. And I think it's pretty cool that he acknowledged that. Makes me really happy. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, ring the bell icon, turn on notifications, all that bullshit. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, links are in the description. Join my fan Discord, fantastic community. You can donate or sub to me on my website, xanderhall.com/live. I really appreciate the support. It's what lets me keep doing this as a living, or for a living. You can also sub to me on Patreon, Super Chat, or hit the join button on YouTube to become a member. I love having YouTube members. It's always fun. You get like a little thing next to your name in chat, in the YouTube chat and in the comments section. And I think your comments get sent to the top. It's pretty neat. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a good one.